Syria's main Kurdish party is urging the UN to act quickly to protect Kurdish-controlled territories in the country's north. The PYD has warned that 1 million people live in the enclave of Afrin, which Turkey has threatened to attack. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says he will launch an offensive soon to push out Kurdish forces. Tanks have gathered on the Turkish side of the border. Ankara links the Syrian YPG Kurdish fighters to Turkey's outlawed PKK party, which has fought for autonomy for decades. It strongly criticized the US for arming and funding the YPG, which has played a significant role in the battle against ISIL. US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson says he will take Turkey's concerns into account, but in a speech about Syria, there was no talk of stopping support for Kurdish groups.
The United States hears and takes seriously the concerns of our NATO ally, Turkey. We recognize the humanitarian contributions and military sacrifices Turkey has made towards defeating ISIS, towards their support of millions of Syrian refugees, and stabilizing areas of Syria it has helped liberate. We must have Turkey's close cooperation in achieving a new future for Syria that ensures security for Syria's neighbors.
Yerevan Saeed is a research fellow at the Middle East Research Institute. He's joining us now from Arlington in the U.S. state of Virginia. Thanks very much for being with us. Why is Afrin so important to Turkey?
Afrin is one of the few cantons that the Kurds have been controlling since 2011, and Turkey in 2016 launched UFOS operations to make sure that the three cantons, which is Kobani and Al Jazeera, would not be linked to Afrin. So for Turkey, it believed that if it will be able to eliminate the YPG threat from that region, it will be able to further control its border. In the meantime, it will be able to undermine any potential Kurdish autonomy in the future in the northeast of Syria.
Turkey's president, as I mentioned before, President Erdogan, has said he will launch an attack soon to push out the Kurdish forces. Realistically speaking, given the fact that the US is supplying support to these Kurdish troops, is that likely?
It is potential, because Erdogan has been actually increasing his rhetoric about launching attack on the Kurds. Especially Turkey became really disappointed that the U.S. administration, the Donald Trump administration, would stop any kind of aid for the Kurds in Syria. In the last 2-3 days, the U.S. decided to even form a 30,000 strong border guards in the Syrian control, in the Kurdish controlled areas of Syria. That has really concerned Turkey. It thinks that this will further pose a threat to the Turkish national security in that region of the world. But in my view, like the Kurds have been there since 2011. They have controlled the borders. They have been really able to protect Turkey in many ways, especially from the jihadis and from the other extremist groups. For me, the threat is more psychological from the Kurds than physical. For Turkey, I think the best way to address this security concern is to engage with the Kurds through dialogue than through military operations.
In the event that Turkey does take military action against the Kurds in Syria, how do you think that's going to play out across the region?
I think it will be disastrous for everyone, for the Kurds, for the U.S., for the Turkish as well. Because if Turkey would launch a military operations into Afrin, I don't think 20+ million Kurds on the other side of the border will be silent. Just how we saw in 2014 when Kobani was under siege, thousands of Kurds across Turkey were poured into the Turkish cities. They were protesting against the Turkish policy towards Rojava or Syrian Kurdistan. In the meantime, PKK increased its guerrilla warfare, and even it brought its war from the mountain into the cities, which led to the destructions of loss of like Kurdish neighborhoods, especially in Diyarbakir and southeast of Turkey, and also hundreds of lives were lost. So I think the operation, if ever, will go through. According to some reports, at the moment Turkey is shelling some of the YPG positions in Afrin. I think eventually it will be really disastrous. Instead of further protecting Turkish national security, I think it will undermine Turkish national security over long run.
Yerevan Saeed, thank you very much indeed.